again, we have loving names for these. This is our business service mapping. So the concept here, a lot of our customers are always talking about, yeah, we've got applications, right? And that's good to know that an application up or down or that an application have a performance issue. But we need to look at this in a broader context of how does that represent to a service being delivered to the end user, right? Like the end user doesn't care whether or not like this node is down or this CPU is having a problem. What the user typically is going to report and cares about is my CRM application isn't working, right? Or my CRM application is slow. This website that I'm trying to get to doesn't seem to work right. So what we wanted to do was then not just allow the administrator to create these groups to create that service level orientation, but we actually wanted to go determine it for them. So the actual like magic and technology that's going to work behind this is essentially I'm going to go look at what is going on that node, what's happening with that application, who's it communicating with, who's listening to it, who's it talking to, and then I'm going to point that out and identify, I was originally looking here to determine, are there any service correlations? There's these 3 different servers that are all communicating with each other. And then as an administrator, I can say, yes, that is definitely a group of my servers for this business level service, and then provide that information, as a grouping. But then we'll also be able to determine, those are also all talking to this SQL cluster, right? So from simply just going, hey, I want to determine business service levels with this web server, I've gone in the background, determined that we're communicating back and forth with this cluster of web servers, and then also communicating with this cluster of SQL servers. So it allows the immediate dynamic mapping of these services. And the same thing, so if, say, this server gets removed from the cluster and we change it out, we're going to go in and then replace that with inside the grouping. So I, as an administrator, don't have to go redefine my service group. We're automatically going to determine that server is gone and that we need to replace that as a part of the business service. So the whole intention here is to give that end-to-end look and feel and understanding of, at the application level, what is all associated with delivering that application as a service, right? Delivering that capability to the end user, not just is there a performance with the individual web server, is there a performance with the individual SQL server. That is what's going to help determine if there's a problem with the business service. So once all this has been mapped out, then we can very quickly see, okay, there's a problem at the SQL layer, which essentially is going to impact the overall service, and someone needs to pay attention to that, right? So if you notice this little tab right here, the intention is you can define your SLAs associated with your business service, which you have committed to the business as an IT administrator. And then we can go back and look at understanding, okay, based upon everything that we're getting back from all of these nodes that provide this business service, are they meeting those SLAs?
So is this, I see the reference to tickets and all that. Mm-hmm. Is this actually going to be a help desk ticketing system, or is it going to integrate with like Snow and?
So that is part of the intention, is because again, we're worried about business level, business service layer stuff. Again, the user is going to report a ticket that says this business service, right? This is down. So you should be able to essentially then track tickets that are associated with the business service level. Right. And once you've gone and solved that problem, you can go see all those tickets related to that business service level, and then resolve them, report back, close them, what have you. The intention is looking at that broad, right? Yeah. So because of that, it's going to require an integration, if you will, with any of those capabilities.
Then that's where I was going. Yep. Where it's not somebody actually manually having to go in here and say, hey, Justin opened a ticket because my load balancer and over here is having problems. So here's the ticket number, and oh, by the way, I have to go update here.
Yep.
That ticket was closed, but it can integrate with Jira and any kind of other workflow.
So that is definitely our intention, because it's all about making the ability to find problems, solve problems, and report that information back easier as an IT administrator, because we do a ton of manual tasks as it is, where we don't want to introduce more manual tasks for them to be able to complete. So, and again, along that lines of, I don't have to go replace that node in the map. That node is automatically going to be replaced. So anywhere where we can determine that we can, I don't want to necessarily say automate, but allow that functionality to immediately happen without you as a user having to interact with it. Those are the things that we are constantly thinking about.
And I'm going to ask the same thing I asked about the networking piece, was being able to automatically open a ticket, generate a ticket based on a threshold here, versus my end user saying, I'm having problems.
Right.
Where I can set a through say,
right,
based on my SLA.
Correct.
Those open either an internal help desk ticket, and I mean through APIs I can send it to the right.
Correct. It's really easy to go, hey, just like we can generate alerts in a lot of our Orion products, like it's really easy to then generate an event to communicate with an API to say, hey, ticketing system, open this ticket. Here's the information. Here's the details. Maybe a snapshot of this and then to that group that automatically needs to be addressing this, right? So yeah, those are our intentions when we're going through building this type of stuff, is to ensure that we're going to do things for the administrator that they don't necessarily need to do themselves. They need to worry about solving the problem, not using our software, right? All right.
Can I ask one more thing?
Absolutely. Please ask away.
This is going to be a yes, but I'm going to. So like the SQL Server that's yellow. Mm-hmm. Will this link back to like SQL Monitor, whatever the app that you guys have that shows database queries, and be able to drill from this view straight in and show me that this table is the cause of what's causing everything else to go?
Yep, our intention is to fully integrate any of the components that we put together. So yep. You'll hear me say our intention to a lot, obviously because it's lab work, and our wonderful disclaimer that you saw at the beginning, I can't commit to anything.
No comment.
To take it one step further, it would be really nice if...
And that's why I said I know the answer is yes.
If there were a way to track those changes through Active Directory or whatever authentication method it is to the particular individual who might have caused that.
Correct. So it depends on which layer you're looking at, right? But obviously, if someone's logged into the system, then we can determine change happened during this user logon, and then we can create that information.
Obviously, right? there's changes that take place as part of the system.
Yep.
That can't be tracked back, but if somebody deletes a key file or something like that.
Because there's plenty of event information to determine, right? That there was a user on that system at the point in time that happened, and we could very easily create that correlation.
Kind of like change management in reverse.
Correct.